You won't let him revert your system back to the original state with your money. You won't trust him enough to come in and finish the job. What is the answer?
I would have. He's broken my integrity. He's broken his credibility. If somebody else were to come in that was reputable, that wanted to take all the parts, I have no problem with that.
There was a walkthrough at some point when he was done with the work.
But he wasn't done with the work, and the walkthrough was simply about positioning phones.
So there was no testing of any phones.
That's correct. I did not test each phone to make sure that the intercoms were operational. They were not set up yet for me to actually test them. All that I saw, again, there were no phones. I purchased phones from him. I wanted to make sure the phones were installed and placed in the right places in the house and put on the walls in the right spots. There was a location issue, which he did a good job installing. But we never finalized the directories or the intercoms as to what buttons called which rooms, etc.
I'm going to open it up to my colleagues.
Mr. Minnelli, you said that you spoke to somebody else who said that it would be $2,000 to do the remaining work that hadn't been done.
Correct.
If there's $2,000 of labor left, right? Because that doesn't include any parts, right? Because the parts are there, the hardware's there, right?
Your Honor, it's an approximation. He came to my house twice.
Understood.
Yeah, he didn't finish it, and I'm not presenting it to evidence. I don't have a written proposal from him.
Let's say it's an estimate of $2,000, right? It could be $1,500, it could be $2,500. You were only charged a total of $2,800 for labor. If the remaining piece to be done is $2,000 worth of labor, he only charged you $2,800 for all of the labor that he did. Is that not the deal of the century? If this guy wants $2,000 just to do the piece that hasn't been done yet? Are you following me?
I do, and it's not a deal of a century if the work never gets completed.
Are there any other allegations you wish to make in support of your defense?
The original estimate was presented with a license number on it. To install low voltage work in California, you have to be a licensed contractor. The plaintiff is not, his license expired more than 10 years ago, which may also explain why his labor was so cheap.
Mr. Marks?
A low voltage contracting license applies for when you're opening walls and pulling cables. We were doing none of that. So the work that I was initially told I was going to do was making a couple small connections and doing programming. That does not require a contractor's license.
Are we splitting a little hairs here?
Well,
because
I believe the defendant is.
Well, maybe the defendant is, but maybe you are also in the sense that your invoice has a license number on it.
I've not taken it off yet, but yes, that was my old license number. That's true.
Mr. Minnelli, are you willing to let Mr. Marks back into your home to do this work?
I don't trust him, Your Honor. But
so then why do you say you have no problem?
But
you have a problem.
I guess if there was a third party that was watching him the entire time that could evaluate what he's doing to make sure that nothing gets taken or that I'm not in a worse position, I wouldn't have a problem with that.
Is there anything further you wish to say?
Yes, sir. One critical point, he only approved the first invoice, but the point of fact is the second invoice literally covers nothing but equipment that he asked me for in the 11th hour. We were wrapping up with the second phone installation. He has the equipment. I mean, he literally owns the equipment. It's in his house. I only invoiced him for the things that he approved 100%. I told him these.
How much is the equipment that you've left there?
The second invoice was for about $1,500.
$1,500 over and above the $6,800.
Because he asked for equipment over and above what the original.
But you also indicated you decided to charge him for labor, $500.
Well, the labor's on the first invoice.
That was like, you didn't.
On the second invoice, there was no labor charge whatsoever.
Okay. Thank you both very much. You're excused while we deliberate in this matter.
Thank you, Your Honor.
I still don't understand the intricacies of this electronics. But the actual dispute is far less than I think anybody is contending here, because $5,000 has already been paid. The defendant does not dispute that an additional $1,800 is owed, and then there's clearly an additional $1,600 of additional equipment that he has. Wall brackets, mounts, which we have plenty of evidence the plaintiff actually did install in his home. And if he's now contending, oh, well, I wanted you to install those without paying for them, forget it.
No. Yeah, but there's just no pleasing this defendant.
No.
There just isn't. No.
And he gave us the admission that we wanted, which is like, I don't think that I'm the expert on anything here. Yeah. Great, you're not. So now you have no evidence.
We have a verdict.
So we're unanimous, 33-75 for the plaintiff?
You got it.
Excellent.